Welcome to CVR English. This is Naresh Kumar. Let's watch the world news. In a historic move, Nepal's former Chief Justice Sushila Khorke has been sworn in as its country's transitional Prime Minister following the collapse of the previous government amid deadly anti-corruption protests. Her appointment marks a significant shift in Nepal's political landscape as she becomes the first former head of the judiciary to lead the executive branch. The protests driven are largely by youth and civil society groups. Reforms and accountability from political leaders. Khorke, known for her strong anti-corruption stance during her tenure as Chief Justice, is expected to oversee a transitional period focused on restoring public trust, initiating institutional leadership of a governance.
नेपालको सार्वभौम सत्ता र राजकीय सत्ता नेपालको सर्वोच्च सत्ता र राजकीय सत्ता नेपाली जनतामा निहित रहेको नेपालीमा शपथ लिन्छु कि देश र जनताको नाममा शपथ लिन्छु कि प्रधानमन्त्री पदको जिम्मेवारी पदमा दाखल रहँदा वा नरहँदा जुनसुकै अवस्थामा कुनै किसिमबाट पनि प्रकट वा संकेत गर्ने छैन। बधाई छ धेरै शुभकामना सफल होस् जनता महसुस नेपालको सार्वभौम सत्ता र राजकीय सत्ता नेपालको सर्वोच्च सत्ता र राजकीय सत्ता नेपाली जनतामा निहित रहेको नेपालीमा शपथ लिन्छु कि देश र जनताको नाममा शपथ लिन्छु कि
The Robinson was apprehended as the enforcement of nationwide reviewed a Master 32-6 bolt action. A rifle believed to be the murder weapon was recovered near the scene. President Donald Trump confirmed the arrest during a live interview, calling Kirk the finest person and stating that the act merited the harshest penalty. Robinson now faces charges including capital murder, and investigators are still working to determine a motive.
Law enforcement officials in Utah have arrested 22-year-old suspect Tyler Robinson in the Charlie Kirk assassination, and they released mugshots of him.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We got him. On the evening of September 11th, a family member of Tyler Robinson reached out to a family friend who contacted the Washington County Sheriff's Office with information that Robinson had confessed to them or implied that he had committed the incident. It is also much bigger than an attack on an individual. It is an attack on all of us. It is an attack on the American experiment. It is an attack on our ideals.
The Utah governor thanked Robinson's family for doing the right thing. Cox also cited as key pieces of evidence engravings on bullets found in a rifle believed to be used in the attack, and chatting app messages attributed to the accused shooter that a roommate shared with law enforcement. He also said the assassination suspect is believed to have acted alone, but the investigation is ongoing. Law enforcement officials in Utah have arrested 22-year-old suspect Tyler Robinson in the Charlie Kirk assassination, and they released mugshots of him.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We got him. On the evening of September 11th, a family member of Tyler Robinson reached out to a family friend who contacted the Washington County Sheriff's Office with information that Robinson had confessed to them or implied that he had committed the incident. It is also much bigger than an attack on an individual. It is an attack on all of us. It is an attack on the American experiment. It is an attack on our ideals.
The Utah governor thanked Robinson's family for doing the right thing. Cox also cited as key pieces of evidence engravings on bullets found in a rifle believed to be used in the attack.
A public event in Utah, her remarks come as 22 years old. Ayla Robinson remains in custody at the County Jail, facing charges including aggravated murder, felony discharge of a firearm, causing serious bodily harm, and obstruction of justice. It was arrested after a coordinated law enforcement effort and is suspected of carrying out the fatal shooting that shocked the nation. The investigation continues as the authorities work to uncover the motive behind the attack and ensure accountability.
I first want to thank the local, state, and federal law enforcement who worked tirelessly to capture my husband's assassin so that he can be brought to justice. I want to thank the first responders who struggled heroically to save Charles's life, and the police who acted bravely to make sure that there were no other victims on that terrible afternoon. I want to thank the officers who have protected our Turning Point USA family these past 2 days. And I want to thank the Turning Point USA board, the COO, Justin Strife, and my husband's chief of staff, the amazing Mikey McCoy, for all their work in these terrible days to be the stability for our family and for the wider Turning Point USA family as well. My heart is with every one of my husband's employees who lost a friend and a mentor. I want to thank the staffers of his amazing Charlie Kirk show, who helped him broadcast from this studio, this chair. Every day he loved it. He loved what he did. I want to thank the millions of people who have shown their love for Charlie here in Phoenix, across America, and worldwide. I want to thank my husband's dear friend, Vice President Vance, and his phenomenal wife, Usha, for their love and support. You guys honored my husband so well, bringing him home. Both are tremendous. I want to thank President Trump and his incredible family for the same. Mr. President, my husband loved you. And he knew that you loved him too. He did. Your friendship was amazing. You supported him so well, as did he for you. 2 days ago, my husband, Charlie, went to see the face of his Savior and his God. Charlie always said that when he was gone, he wanted to be remembered for his courage and for his faith. And one of the final conversations that he had,
officials were seen conducting an investigation at the residence of Utah man arrested in connection with the killing of conservative activist Charlie Kirk. The suspect, identified as a 22-year-old Tyler Robinson, was taken into custody following the fatal shooting that occurred during a Turning Point USA event at the Utah Valley University. Authorities are reportedly searching the home for evidence and that could shed light on the motive and planning behind the attack. The investigation is a part of a broader effort involving federal and local agencies, with the forensic teams examining digital devices, documents, and potential weapons. The case has sparked national attention and intensified calls for security measures at public political events.
Siri, text Marta.
I have not been able to talk.
We just need a look.
8, 9.
Hey Siri, text Marta.
I have not been able to talk.
We just need a look.
8.
Palestinians were compelled to evacuate to the southern Gaza Strip amid intensifying Israeli airstrikes and the looming threat of the ground offensive explosions and bombardments continued across Gaza City, prompting thousands to seek refuge in already overcrowded southern areas. The evacuation of humanitarian crisis and 8 international organizations have raised alarms over the growing civilian toll and urgent need for control the access. The situation remains volatile, with diplomatic efforts underway to de-escalate the conflict of the humanitarian sea.
الله عليه وعلى اللي كان السبب حسبي الله محمود الناس احضروا كمان راح الله عليه وعلى اللي كان السبب حسبي الله محمود الناس احضروا كمان راح
Dozens of relatives of former Dutch prisoners of war gathered at a former prison campsite in Nagasaki, Japan, to pay tribute to the loved ones who suffered and died during World War II. The solemn ceremony honored those who endured abuse, starvation, and harsh conditions while detained in one of Japan's largest wartime camps. The gathering served as a moment of remembrance and reconciliation, with the families sharing stories of resilience and loss. Many attendees laid flowers and observed moments of silence, reflecting on the painful legacy of war and the importance of the preserving historical memory. The event also underscored ongoing efforts to acknowledge wartime atrocities and foster healing between nations.
By reflecting on how this memorial came into being, it also stands as a symbol of reconciliation between those whose ancestors were once enemies.
戦後80周年を迎えて、かつて敵国同士だったオランダと日本とその、 戦った捕虜たちの遺族と、原爆にあった我々と交流することが非常に平和の世界を作る一歩になればいいなと思ってやってます。
Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer has warned that he is prepared to the risk a government shutdown if the Republicans do not agree to the Democratic demands on health care. With the September 30 deadline approaching, the Schumer Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries united in opposing any funding bill that undermines Medicaid or other key programs. Schumer stands a mock shift from earlier bipartisan efforts to avoid shutdown, citing recent GOP backer tax cuts and spending reductions. Republicans are considering a short-term funding measure but have resisted attaching health or key reforms and stand-forms raises concerns about federal operations and signals a tense political battle over the budget priorities and public welfare.
Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer is willing to risk a government shutdown at the end of the month if Republicans don't accept Democratic demands on health care. Schumer told the Associated Press he and House Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries oppose any legislation that doesn't include key health care provisions and a commitment not to roll them back.
House and Senate Democrats are in total agreement. What the Republicans are proposing is not good enough for the American people and not good enough to get our votes.
Schumer argues the country is in a different place than it was earlier this year when he argued against a shutdown.
Republicans have to come to meet us with a true bipartisan negotiation to satisfy the American people's needs on health care and lower people's costs.
The New York senator weathered backlash from fellow Democrats in March when he voted with Republicans to keep the government open. Senate Majority Leader John Thune says Schumer needs to approach Republicans with a... Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer is willing to risk a government shutdown at the end of the month if Republicans don't accept Democratic demands on health care. Schumer told the Associated Press he and House Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries oppose any
Especially chartered flight carrying hundreds of South Korean workers landed at Incheon International Airport following their detention in U.S. immigration raid. The workers were among the 475 individuals arrested at a Hyundai LG battery factory site in Georgia, with South Koreans compromised at the majority. The incident has sparked diplomatic insensitivity between the Seoul and Washington, both close allies with deep economic ties. South Korean officials are now working closely with their U.S. counterparts to address visa and labor compliance issues, aiming to prevent similar disruptions in the future joint ventures. The return of the workers marks a critical moment in bilateral relations, highlighting the need for clear frameworks around foreign labor in strategic industries like electric vehicle manufacturing. NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte announced that the alliance will reinforce its eastern flank following the recent intrusion of the Russian drones into Polish airspace. The incident, which occurred earlier this week, has raised serious concerns about regional security and the potential for escalation near NATO borders. Rutte emphasized that member states must remain vigilant and united in the face of growing threats. He confirmed that additional surveillance aid defense systems and Ukraine has called for stronger protective measures. The move signals NATO's commitment to defending its territory and responding decisively to any violations of its airspace.
And today, General Kinkowicz and I are here to announce that NATO is launching Eastern Sentry to bolster our posture even further along our eastern flank. This military activity will commence in the coming days and will involve a range of assets from allies including Denmark, France, United Kingdom, Germany and others. In addition to more traditional military capabilities, this effort will also feature elements designed to address the particular challenges associated with the use of drones. And today, General Kinkowicz and I are here to announce that NATO is launching Eastern Sentry to bolster our posture even further along our eastern flank. This military activity will commence in the coming days and will involve a range of assets from allies.
In southwest Colombia, rescuers are racing against time to reach when many miners trapped underground after an illegal gold shaft collapsed in the Santander in the Quilichao, Cauca department. The collapse was triggered by a landslide in the conflict-affected region, leaving the miners stranded beneath layers of the sand of the others. And excavators working to clear the blocked entrance, while anxious relatives and community members gather nearby hoping for signs of life. The operation complicated. The incident highlights the dangers of unregulated mining and the urgent need for safer practices in vulnerable regions. Sebastian Lecon arrived in Macon for his inaugural official visit, marking the beginning of his term with a strong emphasis on public health and everybody regardless of French citizens. His itinerary includes a stop at the Sauvigny et Loire Departmental Health Center, where he is expected to meet with medical staff and local officials to discuss healthcare access, regional challenges and service implements. Lecorno's choice to spotlight health and the daily lives of citizens signals a grassroots approach to governance, aiming to reconnect national leadership with local realities. The visit is seen as a gesture of commitment to the strengthening public services and addressing the evolving needs of communities across France.
Un clin d'œil à l'époque au directeur régional de l'ARS qui était de prendre leur retraite en 2018, 50%. Quand on connaît le taux de remplacement. De vous déplacer en centre de la Banque pour votre premier déplacement, c'est vraiment un honneur pour nous.
On peut évoquer aussi, mais on viendra peut-être, c'est un coup comme ça, évidemment. Mais c'est, voilà, on l'a accepté.
Alors, on rajeunit l'un et l'autre. Félicitations pour l'élection. Tout va bien, la prise de fonction se passe bien? Ouais. Et donc, tu m'as mis
Non, je tenais absolument à ce que
un
ce
message
soit,
de félicitations.
Struck by the separate boat tragedy leading to the death of at least 193 people. According to the reports, two separate incidents in the northwestern Equator province have also left scores more missing. The accidents occurred about 150 kilometers apart on Wednesday and Thursday. The rescue teams and emergency responders have rushed to the site and making efforts to search for the missing persons. As per reports, in one incident, a boat carrying nearly 500 passengers caught fire and capsized on Thursday evening along the Congo River in Lukolila territory. The concerned administration reported that 209 survivors were rescued from the accident, which occurred near the village of Marangi. The other tragedy happened a day earlier in Basankusu territory, where a motorized boat capsized, killing at least 86 people, mostly students. The exact number of missing persons wasn't specified in reports. The state media attributed the accident on Wednesday to the improper loading and night navigation. A brand culinary spectacle chief Hidla Bassi is leading to the ambitious attempt to set the world record for the largest pot of jollof rice in Nigeria. The event has drawn enthusiastic participation, who continuously stir the massive pot and add rice, contributing to the communal effort. Held in a festive atmosphere, the record attempt celebrates West African cuisine and cultural pride with a jollof rice, a beloved dish across the region. Taking center stage, Chef Bassi, known for her previous Guinness World Record for longest cooking marathon, is once again pushing boundaries. The event also highlights food and a unifying force, drawing crowds, media attention and support from local chefs, influencers and food lovers nationwide.
We're about to do something amazing tonight. We ain't slipping.
The United Nations has overwhelmingly voted an end-use declaration calling for tangible, time-bound and irreversible steps toward a two-state solution between Israel and the Palestinians. The resolution reflects a renewed global push to revive peace efforts amid ongoing conflict and humanitarian concerns.
Abstentions 12.
The 7-page declaration is the result of an international conference at the UN in July on the decades-long conflict.
That's the wrap up of the Devotional News. Keep watching CVR English News.